All right. So, good job in finishing up the multiple choice short answer portion of the Watson's Go to Birmingham test. Now you're ready to look at the TDA. Now, a TDA is basically an essay, and you're going to be writing that over the course of several different videos. We're not going to do it all in one day. Um, at the end of the sixth grade year, you have a test called the South Carolina Ready Test. And one question on that test will be a TDA question. And so this is to help you get some practice so that you know how to write the TDA. And we're going to practice from here on out to the end of the year. So we're going to start with the Watsons Go to Birmingham. And a TDA is called a text-dependent analysis. So you're analyzing a text, okay? And you're going to get a prompt. And a prompt is basically the question that you have to answer in your essay. And when you get the prompt, it's important to break it down and to really examine it to see exactly what the question is really asking you to do. So this process is called do what? Like, what do I have to do for this question? So you should have your copy of this organizer in front of you. Maybe you've split screened it with this video tutorial, or you've got a different tab you can toggle back and forth. So make sure that you have your copy open so that you can follow along with me. And then when I'm done with my organizer, you'll be done with yours too. All right? So if you don't have that open, pause this video, do that now. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is read the directions. So read along with me. Number 1, read the prompt aloud. Now, you're not going to read it loud so everyone in the room can hear you, but kind of just quietly to yourself, I want you to read the prompt aloud. And I'm going to do that right now. You read with me. We're in the purple box. That's where the prompt is. We're going to read what the question is aloud. It says, write an essay that explains which life lesson is the most important theme of this book. Cite textual evidence from the novel to support your response. Okay, so we read it aloud. Perfect. There's 2 sentences, and there are different parts to this TDA. We're going to analyze that by highlighting some words in green and some words in yellow. So number 2 says highlight all of the actions or verbs the prompt is asking you to do in green. So with my cursor, I'm going to go and look at the first sentence. I'm looking for action words or verbs. Write is definitely an action word. So I'm going to highlight the word write in green. That is what I'm going to have to do, the action. Write an essay that explains is another action. I'll have to explain something. So highlight that green for action. Which life lesson is the most important theme of this book? Okay, so far we have 2 verbs, write and explain. Second sentence, cite. Cite is a verb. That is something we're going to have to do within the essay. Cite textual evidence from the novel to support, and I'm going to highlight support also green. So we have 4 verbs highlighted in green, and they are write, explain, cite, and support. So I'm going to take my chart right underneath it, and I'm going to center mine. I like the way it looks when it's centered. And I'm going to write word write. I'm going to skip a little space. I'm going to type explain. I'm going to type cite and support. So those are the things I'm going to have to do in my essay. I'm going to have to write, explain, cite, and support. And I'm just going to do a little thing here because I'm a color person and I want to be able to see this very clearly that those are my actions, okay? Now, we're going to go back up to the directions to number 3. This is the last thing we do, according to the directions. It says, highlight all of the whats, and we call those direct objects, that the actions are referencing in the chart in yellow. So let me just kind of explain what that means. So we're going to look at a verb, like the verb write, and we're going to ask ourselves the question, what? Write what? What are we going to have to write? You probably already figured that out. Essay. So we're going to highlight essay. That's what we're going to have to write in yellow. Okay. Then we have the verb explains. Explains what? What are we going to have to explain? So which life lesson is the most important theme? I'm going to highlight most important theme. That phrase right there. That's what we're going to have to explain in the essay. All right. Let's look at the verb cite. What are we going to have to cite? Cite what? Hopefully you thought textual evidence. That's correct. If you did, you're going to highlight those two words in yellow. That's what we're going to have to cite. And then our last verb is support. What are we going to have to support? Your response. And I'm just going to highlight the word response. So now we have all of our whats. So I'm going to turn this yellow because, like I said, I like color and it makes me it clarifies things for me a little bit. And I'm going to center this because I just like the way that looks better. And I'm going to write in the what that goes with each verb. So essay was the first one. Write an essay. Okay, and then explain most important theme. That's what I'm going to have to explain in my essay. And then I'm going to have to cite what? I'm going to have to cite textual evidence. And then one more, support. What am I going to have to support? My response. Now it says response, but I'm going to put in parentheses thesis. And I'm going to get back to what that means later in another video. But everything that all the evidence that we find in our essay is going to go back and support our thesis, which is our main argument. So now we have the chart done. We know a little bit more now what we're being asked to do. We're going to have to write an essay about the most important theme in the Watson's Go to Birmingham. What's the biggest lesson that you think that book teaches? And it teaches a lot of lessons. It teaches lessons about courage, family, loss, growing up, friendship. What else? It teaches sacrifice, giving things up. There's lots of bravery. There's lots of themes. Those are topics, but there's a lot of themes that come from those topics in this book. And we're going to get to that in the next video. But that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to have to find evidence from the book that shows that theme. That's what citing textual evidence is, okay? So underneath it, where it says directions, it says rewrite the task prompt, rewrite the prompt using your own words. So in your own words, using the chart and the yellow and green words, in your own words, I want you to write what it is your essay is going to have to be about in your own words so that I know that you understand exactly what you're going to have to do for this particular TDA. So if you would put that in your own words, you can just delete those lines and you write out what it is you're going to have to do. Don't copy and paste the prompt. I don't want you to do that, okay? But I want you to put it in your own words. Just paraphrase what the prompt is asking you. And when you're done, you have finished unpacking the TDA prompt for the Watson's Go to Birmingham. In the next video, we're going to use this prompt, this question that we just analyzed, and we're going to write the introduction of your essay. But this was just making sure that you understand exactly what the question is asking you. So rewrite the task in your own words and turn this in, and you are finished.